Hello everyone and welcome to Dundas Dashboard How-To videos. This video will show you how you can create and design an analytical dashboard from an OLAP cube and give the dashboard viewers full interactive access to the data from the OLAP cube. The users will be able to use analytical controls and choose dimensions and measures, slice, drill down, and filter the data for in-depth analysis. So to create an analytical dashboard from the home screen, you can either go to the Analytical Dashboards tab and select Create an Analytical Dashboard option. Or from the Design Explorer, you can go to the Analytical Dashboards folder and select New Analytical Dashboards from the menu. Before we proceed, make sure that you have set up your virtual cube and your analytical reports. So in my virtual cube definition, I've got 3 measures selected and 3 dimensions selected. I have got a calculated measure and I have got a date mapping set up. I also have 2 analytical reports set up. If you want details on how to set up a virtual cube or how to set up the analytical reports, then please go to the support site for the steps on how to create each of them, as well as watch the how-to videos for creating them. So once you have these set up, go to the Analytical Dashboards folder, go to the menu and click on New Analytical Dashboard and give it a name. Once you do that, it opens the Analytical Dashboard Designer screen, which you will use to design your dashboard. So as you can see in the toolbox, under the Virtual Cubes folder, we have the virtual cube that we had created, as well as the 2 analytical reports that were created from this virtual cube. So to create the analytical dashboard, simply drop either the virtual cube onto the dashboard canvas, or drop one of the analytical reports onto the canvas. Keep in mind that if you drop the virtual cube onto the canvas, then it would take the default report, in this case my report 1, and display them onto the analytical controls. So as you can see, we have a control that has been created as soon as you drop the report or the cube onto the canvas. This control is known as the Analytical Combo, which combines an analytical grid with an analytical chart and several controls for changing what data is displayed. Once we preview it, you can see that the report has been displayed onto the combo in the form of a chart as well as in the form of a grid. And the measures, the dimensions that were selected, have been added to the measures and the categorical axis. If you check the tree view of the combo, you will see that the measures and the dimensions that were selected on the virtual cube have been displayed for additional access. Like I said, the Analytical Combo gives you the default report. If you want to change the report, then go to the default report area of the properties and select the second report that you want to display. So as you can see, the data has changed and the data from the second report is being pulled into the combo. You can change the measures that you want to display or change the dimension that you want to display. In addition to the Analytical Combo, you also have the option of using individual charts and grids to display your data. To do this, go to the Charts section and select one chart that you want to display on the dashboard. Click on a report and drag it onto the chart. So now if you preview, you can see that the data from the analytical report has been displayed on a bar chart. Similar to the analytical combo that you saw previously, you can also have axes such as measures, categorical, dimensions, slicer axes that control this individual bar chart. To do this, go to the axis folder and drop each of the axes onto the canvas. So as you can see, I have an analytical tree, a slicer axis, measures, grouping dimension, and a categorical axis on my dashboard. Now if I preview this, then similar to the analytical combo, you will be able to change the measures, dimensions, slice or dice the data from the chart. For example, if I want to change the measure, all I have to do is drag and drop the new measure onto the measures axis. You can have more than one measure that you want to display on the chart. If you want to change the dimension, then you can also do that. If you want to change the report displayed on the chart, then go to the report manager and click on the menu, go to the reports and change the report that you want to display on the chart. Now if you click on preview, you can see that the report has changed and data from report 1 is getting displayed on the chart. If you want to change the report while viewing, then select the report selector from the pages and drag and drop it onto the dashboard. Now when you preview, you can see that report 1 is selected. Now if you want to change the report, just click on the drop down and select the other report that you want to display. So this gives the viewers the option to change the reports and the data that they want to view on the fly. One thing to notice here is that as soon as I dropped my report onto the chart got populated with the values taken from the measures and the dimensions from the analytical report. This is because the analytical report has been predefined in the virtual cube. But if I did not have any report defined on my cube and I just drop the cube onto my analytical control, then it will not display any values by default unless I use the analytical tree that you see on your left-hand side and select a measure and drop it onto the measures axis and select a dimension from the tree and drop it onto the dimensions axis. So it's not necessary that you have to define an analytical report on a virtual cube, but from a performance perspective, the data querying is much faster if you have a report defined on your cube. The report manager here is used to connect an analytical control with an analytical report. If you want to use another analytical control with another report, then you have to use a second report manager from the toolbox and connect this to the second report. So using this method, you will be able to display two reports on the same dashboard using two separate controls. For more information on how to design analytical dashboards, including the steps that we discussed in this video, go to our support site to the page displayed on your screen. If you have any questions, feel free to visit our support site at support.dundas.com or contact Dundas Support using the contact information shown on your screen. Thank you for watching.